Well, I guess while this is still uploading, I can proceed with my little rant, my temper tantrum. And this is in the wrong spot again. It's much better here, I think. But this one's got to go. Oh, it's fine. Yeah, I noticed a few bugs. Some of them were my own fault, and really, I have no one to blame but myself. But one of the bugs that I noticed, and these always, these were little bugs to do with this string class. One was a search replace thing where I made the mistake of not doing what I preached not 2 videos ago, which was to go through and test every single case. And I had this function I added called replace. And now I don't know if I've gone through every possible case, but see, but the problem is that I use things like memcopy and memmove and so on. So you have to make sure to multiply by the size of the object type. And one of them was correct, and that must have been the one case I tested, and none of the other ones had this multiplier, and so they weren't working. It wasn't making it crash, but it was potentially, well, you wouldn't likely get a crash because it's a smaller amount. But maybe misalign, do something on an odd boundary. The thing is, I tested everything in a multi-byte build, and I didn't thoroughly go through the Unicode tests, and I only myself to blame. But it wasn't hard to locate the problem. The other problem, another one that came up was, you remember I was talking about those LSA string things? Like these things, this data structure has these Unicode strings, and I made a wrapper around it. Now I whipped that together really, really quick, and I wasn't being particularly careful. And then I went on to, I was giving up on that, and I looked back. I know I'm making excuses for myself. Now, where did I define this one? Yeah, I mean, I didn't put it in any common area, so I don't feel too bad. Where did it go? It's called TS LSAU string. Oh, wow. Oh, it's there. Oh, it's there now. Okay. Say I do that. Well, I had mentioned in the other video that one of the things I wanted to do was add some entries for some of these types so I could see them. And immediately I said, now why did I do that? Maybe it must be hitting F11. FC and F7. It was pretty. I changed the view for this type of object, stir, and what I saw here was well, first the length was in this case would have been 22, and the max was 44. So that it goes to show you that that little display thing has another utility in that it can help you find a bug. In this case, it helped me find this bug. What it was I had I don't know. Ended up putting this length here, into this spot. See, but it had already been doubled, so that doubled again. Not too hard to find, but maybe that was the cause of some of the weirdo stuff that happened. Nothing terrible. And then with this PS tote thing, which does its printout, and everything's just fine and wonderful. I go to build it for on release mode, and all of these privileges here, right, where it's attempting to line them up. This one's a bit too long. They're all, they're all like stuck together. And it's not doing. I have pad right so many characters, and I've been using pad right for ages all over the place, and it works fine in debug mode. So what's going on? I just went into the unit test thing, and I put in a string, and I said, okay, pad right 30 or something. Debug mode, fine. Release mode, it gives me like 2 bytes of padding or something. A little bit more than 0. And I went and I looked and I looked and I put, because I can't debug it in the release mode, or at least I didn't want to take the step of turning all that stuff on. And I went to the pad right function. I don't know where it is. Okay. And okay, then it's involved with this constructor here, which takes a character and a count. So I have a look at the constructor, wherever it is, probably closer to the top, usually. Here. This is what I have now. I knew this was going to work. So what I had before, here, was this. Now, is this before or after? Anyway, it was this line, and I was getting bothered by these warnings, unreferenced parameter. I don't know. I need a better solution. But anyway, let me go one more back. Yeah. Let me go 2 more back. Oh, it's hers. Actually, I think that's probably. It doesn't seem to have it in this version. Oh, yeah, so that was a lot. Yeah. So now I'm angry at this function, and that's the reason for this thing. For these number defines I've put in to completely block off and eliminate any access to any of these functions. And the reason is because I don't even know what this function does. I mean, I assume, if you look at the help on it, I don't want to type in there. Now, I would like you to help me try and figure out what this function actually is intended to do. Okay? It says stir and set. Stir and set. Now remember, you probably wouldn't remember, but a long time ago, back in the, when I was doing the debug stuff, I mentioned that there was a class in this other project. Oh no, I was talking about the standard string. Standard string, which had this, one of the constructors took a character, a string and a count, and I thought that it would only copy as much of the string as available up to the size of count, and it didn't work that way. And I didn't like that, but I didn't get angry. Here I'm getting angry because this is actually a case where I can't think of any possible use for this function wherein it does what it actually does. The reason it works in the debug mode, okay, is because when you allocate memory in debug mode, it's filled with junk, a particular char FD or something, right? In that case, this function will work. Now let's see what it does. According to the help. Now maybe I didn't read this closely enough. These functions set at most the first count of characters stirred to C. If count is greater than size of stir, that's bytes or words. Now size is something you pass in. The size is used instead of the count, right? So use the smaller of the two. Now what am I passing in? Okay, going to the thing, size, and is first. Size, count, right? And this would be the number of times I wanted to repeat this character in the string. Okay? But instead I get like 2. If it says 29 here, maybe I get 3. Or 0. Right? Like, what this does, it appears to me, is it only writes, it doesn't do anything with this n. It ignores these numbers completely and puts characters wherever there's a character that could be replaced by this. And here's their example. But the weird thing was I was always getting 4. I think it was 4. Yeah, it was 4. It makes me wonder if this isn't the only test they ever ran with the function, because this gives 4, right? So the reason why it wasn't working in release mode, of course, is because I had numbers bigger than 4, and it would only write up to 4 characters into my string. Now, in a sense, the help file is correct. I mean, it doesn't tell you how many it's going to write at least. Like, it tells you how much it'll write at most, but not. I don't see anything anywhere anyway where it says it'll count. It'll write. It will set at least so many characters. It only says at most. So therefore it's 0. The help says it could count, it could put 0 characters. Even if you don't have any null termination, that doesn't matter. There's nothing in this statement here that indicates that it might copy anything into your buffer. This says that the function's behavior is undefined. I mean, it's explicitly saying it's unpredictable, it could do anything, but you can be absolutely certain that it won't write any more than that many characters to the string. So it's a completely and totally worthless function. If there's something anybody can see in here, let's see, debug versions fill with FD. Well, how would they have got those FDs in there? Maybe they only tested it under debug. I would like to know what the purpose of this function is. Initialize. Like, initialize means at first. So how can I, am I supposed to overwrite the buffer, with something that's non-zeros? If I'm initializing it and then have it do its initialization a second time? What is the actual use of this function? Sets at most, if greater than that. At most. Bound, if it's a null pointer, yeah. So, I wasted several hours trying to track down this problem, and I thought that I had made a mistake. I assumed I'd made a mistake. Well, in a sense, I had made a mistake. I hadn't read the help and realized for what it is, realized what it's actually saying. It's actually saying, in no uncertain terms, that this function may not do anything. It has no purpose. It might possibly do something, and it will definitely not do another thing. But it doesn't say what it will do anywhere. It's undefined. Anyway, so I'd like to get on with the experiment. Maybe I'll shorten this rant slightly.